Good morning to all of you. Adorosi. I'm going to finish in very short time just to put the whole thing in a context and background. What is this net zero we are talking about? And Manav Prakash Javadekar ji has already set the scene where exactly we stand on the climate change issues. I'm going to say what the youth in India can do, particularly youth in university campus, can do about it. I was extremely pleased to be in IIT Guwahati. I always thought that my IIT Bombay campus was the best in the world for greenery and the lakes and everything, and all that I had to leave behind when I saw IIT Guwahati. You people, particularly from IIT Guwahati, are extremely fortunate to have such a lush green mountains and also the lucid water that is flowing, and it's the best place to learn. There is no doubt about it. The next thing came to my mind is the best thing to net zero. This is the campus which can show to the whole world that they can be first one to do that. Because your R&D dean has already said that your energy 60% is likely to come within your reach by eliminating the fossil fuel. Probably the next remaining 40% can come by the trees and the forest cover. Job is done easily. Maybe it is not that easy to do it. I also would like to thank the kind of cooperation which I got from Dr. Achal Kumar and also for Gunmuniji and a number of people. I specifically would like to talk about Vice Chancellor Dr. S.P. Singh, who is my good friend and who is sitting next to in the first line for co-hosting this workshop and offering proactively all the help which is needed. And probably the next proactive thing he can do is to make his campus net zero. And there is going to be a competition between IIT Guwahati and Royal Global University, who will become a net zero first. Between Javadekar ji and Professor S.P. Singh, there is one person who is sitting. He is not a Vice Chancellor. He is a VP. He is a Vice President of Student Gymkhana in IIT Guwahati. I met him yesterday, and yes, he is the one. He is the one who is going to do the things. And what he told me was something amazing, and I would like to share that with the Vice Chancellor of GIET coming from Bhubaneswar. He said we have 23 IITs, and all the Vice President of Gymkhana, they are in touch with each other. He's already probably tweeted to all that Javadekar ji has spoken about it, and let all the Vice Presidents know about it. All the Vice Presidents are going to gather and say that 23 IITs will be net zero ahead of any other university. And I think that will be the great achievement. Let me put in a context of where exactly we stand on this net zero. Is it just a bhashan, or are we really taking any full steps? So we started with sustainable development goals, as Javadekar ji has already told us, and now we are going to net zero, and there is a connection. Because SDG number 7 and 13 are related directly to the climate change. That is a clean energy and climate action. The genesis is, of course, Prime Minister Modi and Secretary General of United Nations, Antonio Guterres. Both of them launched Mission Life. And the behavioral change is the only thing which will be getting to net zero. And our mentors are Prakashji Javadekar and Eric Solom, who is a former Under Secretary General of United Nations and also the former Minister of Environment. We have signed an MOU with Ministry of Education. It is specifically on net zero. Our aim is to make sure that youth understands net zero in all universities in a practical way, not by online education, not by following the courses, not by looking at a textbook, but start working in a campus. Campus is a living laboratory, and there is nothing more than that that can teach the students. We also have an understanding with NBA, National Board of Accreditation, where Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe is leading that initiative, that tomorrow the universities will be ranked based on a sustainability and net zero criteria. Same is with TG Sitaram. Professor TG Sitaram, I think I don't need any talk about it because he was a leading IIT in the past. And we are also interacting with Ministry of Environment for this initiative. Ministry of Power, Dr. R.K. Singh, who is leading the India's revolution on non-conventional energy, he is behind this particular movement. And today we have his representative, Mr. Girija Shankar, who is going to tell you about what Ministry of Power is going to do about this net zero in the universities. We have a support of Niti Aayog from UGC, University Grant Commission, Jagdish Kumar, and we also had, he's a former CEO of Niti Aayog, but Niti Aayog is quite close to it. This movement, just though it is a national movement, I call it, it is becoming a global movement because the kind of mentorship that we are getting from Javadekar as well as Eric Solom. So it is from China. They are taking the pledge on net zero. It's a Peru, where about 8 universities have joined. Then we have a Norway, who is supporting us by becoming a member of Smart Campus Cloud Network, and the UAE, which is a Rochester Institute of Technology, who has done that. Why universities we are talking about? Because we feel that universities have the potential in a form of youth's energy to carry this forward. A student probably lives, as Javadekar told, probably between 5 years and 13 years. Then he goes to the business. Then he goes to the government. Then he goes to the NGO, or he becomes an entrepreneur. But the back of his mind, he has the one thing, that is sustainable development goals and the net zero. And India has a demographic advantage that large proportion, nearly 65% of them are between the age of 18 and 35. And that is the potential that we want to use it. But it is also the 5th largest economy, and it has put behind the UK, which has ruled over more than about 150 years. We were the slaves, and they were ruling us. We have put them back, and that is what the policies of India under the Narendra Modi ji has been told us. So that is the power of universities. And remember, it is not a number of students. It's not a demographic advantage. I'm not talking about numbers. We have the 3rd largest startups in India. And it is not again a number of startups. I'm saying that 3rd largest unicorns who has a revenue more than 100 crores are in India. So it also shows the quality of our students. We have no option but to get net zero. Our next option is to find another planet, which we have not found it. So today our option is get to net zero. Limit the temperature less than 1.5 or maximum 2 degrees centigrade. What this net zero is going to do, it's not going to achieve only the 1.5 and 2 degrees centigrade. It's limiting it, but it is also skill building the youth. It's a green skill building. It is enhancing the employability. Because the future is in our green energy. Future is on net zero. And the future is all on sustainable development goals. And we require a strong young mind to manage it. And this will be the employability that the net zero campus will be developing it. Is the international mobility. The new education policy of 2020, it tells us about international mobility. Getting the other international universities inside our campus, and we going there. So that's why we are opening a new IIT campuses in a country like UAE. The university to university collaboration can start in R&D, and we did hear from the Dean R&D today that what kind of things that IIT Guwahati is doing, and it is very important to share that with the other universities. And there is a positive competition. I think a university student, apart from its energy, is known to compete. He likes a competition. And we are going to compete, we are going to develop that kind of ecosystem that the net zero sustainability march will be tracked on a digital platform and keep on publishing it to give a ranking to the universities. We want to start this competition. And why campuses? Because campuses where the minds are molded, actions are activated, and the innovations are incubated. And smart is digitalization, campus is a living laboratory, cloud is sharing and partnering, and network is creating a new partners within the international. Net zero is a seminal operating principle. It's a learning by doing. It's not learning by textbooks. Accelerating by sharing. It's not by reciting the formulas, but it's by managing and measuring, and it's monitoring by digitalizing, and innovation by co-creating, and imaginating by partnering. So friends, I'm so proud that we have Vice President of Gymkhana with us. It's more than important that we have Vice Chancellors only. I know the Vice Chancellors create Vice Presidents, there is no doubt about it, but this particular net zero has to come bottom up. The Vice Chancellors are busy in a number of other administrative issues. Vice Presidents can do the job on the ground and get us India what Narendra Modi ji wants is Vikasit Bharat by 2047, and by 2050 we have to get the net zero. 3 years after the Vikasit Bharat target of Narendra ji Modi. Thank you very much.